What's going on, everybody? Necrophage here, and my oh my, it's been a couple weeks since I've put an upload up on here on YouTube, and yeah, 2 weeks is a pretty damn long time, so I thought I'd jump back into the fray and give you guys something cool to look at. But the reason why it's been taking me so long to do any uploads is because I'm going back to school, I got work in between, so no time for games. I've pretty much just been doing all schoolwork. But the cool thing is I haven't been doing anything boring with the schoolwork. I've actually been doing some cool stuff. And this is a model I've been working on in Maya, which is a 3D modeling program. And I completed most of this last fall. That was my final project. And it just so happens that for spring, since it's a continuation of the class, that we picked up this model and we have to continue adding elements to it and refining it and making sure it's got, you know, the right muscle maps and all that kind of stuff. But this model is actually a character from StarCraft called the Protoss, and he's an alien, and he kind of looks like Predator a little bit. That's why I kind of chose him. Looks pretty dope, except the hair. Yeah, well, I guess if Predator had braids. But in this portion of the model, what we're doing is we're deform testing it, and what that means is we're putting kind of a fake skeleton in the limbs, and we're making sure that when we move the limbs that the polygon mesh doesn't distort or do anything stupid that it's not supposed to. It's supposed to look natural as possible. So you put these joints in here and you weight paint and you make sure that the joints look, you know, natural as possible. So when the shoulder moves, it's not supposed to, you know, have a sharp joint or anything like that. Everything's supposed to look smooth. Just like the bicep there, it's supposed to collapse and look like it's a bicep. And we do this for each portion of the limb. So you do this for the arm and the legs. You don't really do it for the torso because your torso doesn't have too many joints besides at the hip, and that's only one movement forward and back, so you don't really do it for them. But as you see right there, the back of the leg, that's what you're trying to avoid. But I let that portion go of the back of the leg near the hamstrings just because your leg isn't supposed to bend like that anyways. And the Protoss kind of has a horse centaur-ish type of a leg, so I had to split it up in different pieces and make sure all those pieces bend. And I just broke his leg. Don't worry, he'll be fine. It doesn't hurt him. But there's the ankle, and that's more the direction it's supposed to move in, so that's supposed to look as natural as possible. And you go all the way down to the ball of the foot, and let me show you guys the ball of the foot real quick. There you go. I wasn't clicking on it like I wanted it to. Mine's like that little buggy. But there goes the ball of the foot. That way, if the character later on in the animation, you know, cycle of my build wants to do like a leaping action, he's gonna have to spring off the ball of his foot, and so that's why we make sure that that portion of the body looks natural when it bends. And the next portion of this I'm going to show you is the dividing up of the model itself. You basically break down the model into different pieces, because once you start getting into painting the model, it's easier to group all the pieces that are similar in tone together. So like if I was to do a human, obviously any skin portion showing would be grouped together. The hair would be separate because that's a different color, and then the clothes would probably be separate too because those would be a different color as well. They wouldn't be skin tone. But this is me breaking up individual pieces of the model itself. There you go, see even the hair is broken up into individual strands. The front and the back are separated, and the reason why certain things are separated as whole pieces and other things are separated as halved is because, especially for like the front and the back of the model itself, it's easier to project an image onto a flat surface for that section of the body. Now compare that to like the top of your arm or like your forearm. That's more of a cylinder type shape, so you can project an image that way as well. And the feet they're special special objects because you basically have to break the feet up into different pieces and then project on portions of it because the feet are they're such an odd shape that they're not really flat and they're not really cylinders either. So you have to do that in a special way. And this actually helps you with the painting process later. What you do is you actually take a checker map image and you project it onto your model from the various, portions of it that we did earlier. We broke it up and we projected this checker map. And what this does is it enables you to see without actually painting on your model itself yet. It lets you see how your images, once you do have skin images you can project, it lets you see how the image itself will be projected on there. So if you do this correctly and you adjust all these projections to look similar, then you'll have a good skin mapping later. And you basically want to have all these squares on the checker map to look as similar to each other as possible, similar in size, similar in width, and that way when the whole model itself gets projected onto, it'll look similar and there won't be really any seams that you have to correct. And that, as you can see in that little window over there, I have it all broken up and I have it all kind of grouped together with tones that'll be similar. And then this one right here is actually I don't want to say final painted version, but it's the final version right now because at this point in the game we're only supposed to have single tones. I mean, we can go into Photoshop and project these images from Photoshop into Maya onto the model, but right now a base tone is fine. We'll go back in later, I'm sure, and adjust it and make it look more like skin. But for now, he just wanted, a base model, and I just thought this blue was cool. It's between a blue and a purple, and I'm pretty sure the Protoss model itself is a bluish color in the game. I've seen other versions of them painted purple, so I thought a good in-between color would be cool. And the black hair, they have black hair in the game too, but that's me still in my Predator mode, getting the black hair going. And the green eyes. The green eyes kind of just look cool against the blue background, I think. And that's the whole model, and like I said, you can see it all broken up here in the little texture editor. And basically what happens there is you take pictures from within the program of those segments broken up on that grid, and then you take your Photoshop image and project it onto those squares. And that's how you get color onto your model. So at this point, that whole checker map is gone because it did its use. We got what we needed out of it. We made sure that everything looks cool, and so when we finally painted it, that's what we get. So I hope you guys liked it, and I'll be showing you guys some more work in progresses later. See ya!